There's a lot of buzz going around HighLevel releasing a new feature which is supposed to be a game changer. Here is Varun from HighLevel talking about releasing custom objects.
What high-level feature to come are you most excited about for 2024?
The most exciting one is custom objects.
So many people on the Facebook group are talking about custom objects, how it is going to change lives when it is released. Some people understand it, some people do not know what exactly a custom object is. So here in this video, I try to explain what a custom object is in the most simplest way possible. But if you're a nerd, some of the concepts might sound oversimplified, but unless you are going to build out a data structure based on this video, it wouldn't matter on your day-to-day GoHighLevel activities. So with that disclaimer in place, let's begin and talk about custom objects. Believe it or not, you have been already using custom objects without even knowing it. An object or a custom object is just a fancy engineering term to represent a data structure, which is kind of quite similar to the object-oriented programming concept, but we are not getting into all that. So let's talk about what is a data structure and how have you been using this object or a custom object without even knowing. So if you have ever created a new contact record, you have already used an object. Since HighLevel is primarily a CRM, why? Because everything has to start with a contact, right? So we could say that the basic building block of HighLevel is actually the contact. And that's the main object in GoHighLevel. Contact is the main object in GoHighLevel. So now let's look at object specifically and why we consider contact as an object. So CRM objects are more like a data structure designed to hold specific information relevant to your business. They are like a flexible container where you can define fields which can capture that information that you need to run your business. So now imagine I'm going to create a new contact here. Okay, so what I have to do is I go here, click on add contact, and then I fill out the details and a new contact will be created. And when I create a new contact, it would look like something very similar to this, where you have a first name, last name, email, and phone number, and so many other fields that you have defined. And if you want to add a new field, it is possible. All you have to do is go to your settings and then go to your custom fields, and you can click add field and you can create a new field and give it any name that you want. Let's call it new field, and it's under additional info, and click save, and this new field will be created, right? And when you go back to the contact, and if you scroll all the way down and look at additional info, you would see the new field has been added to all the contacts. Now similarly, if you remove this field, remove this custom field, it will get applied to all the contact records. So now you can see when you go to custom fields here, what you're basically doing is creating a data structure for the contact object. So whenever a new contact object or a record under a contact object is created, it will always follow the same data structure. So you can see here, some fields are mandatory, some fields are not mandatory, some fields are system fields, some are custom fields. You can see here, first name, last name, email, phone number, these are system fields. This comes as part of the system when you install GoHighLevel, right? But here you have other fields like urgency for the service, board type, and all that. These are custom fields specific to your business. So you create those fields specific to your business. So now you can see there are two different fields. One is standard field and one is custom field. And all these fields together gives your contact record as data structure. And this is what you call a contact object. Now you already seen that this first name is called a standard field, while the board type is called custom field, because it's a customized field suited for your business. Similarly, contact object is part of the GoHighLevel system, and when you create a new object which is not part of the system, you call that a custom object. So that's the difference between an object and a custom object. So if we create a new object that's not part of GoHighLevel, we call that a custom object. So there you have it. That's custom object in its simplest form, an object which is not part of the predefined system. Now, contact is not the only object available in GoHighLevel. Whenever you are connecting something to the contact record, most probably they are also object too. So for example, if you are creating a new node or an opportunity, you're basically connecting one object to another. You're connecting contact object to node object, or contact object to opportunity object. So now let's look at the nodes object, right? So for that, I'm going to go into a contact record. So I'm inside this contact record, and I can go click here on nodes, and I can create node. So let's me call this node 1, and this I save it. I created a new node under this contact record. I can keep on creating another node. I call this node 2, and then I save it. And now you can see there are two nodes connected to this same contact. So what I've just did is that I created two node objects, and I connected that two node objects to one single contact. So what I did is I created a one-to-many relationship between contact object and node object. So I said one-to-many relation. So what is one-to-many relation, and why is it one-to-many relation? So here you can see this is one contact, and this one contact has two node objects, but it can be any number of node objects. So one contact and many node objects. So that's why it's one-to-many relation. You might have done a very similar thing with opportunities too. You might have connected a single contact to multiple opportunities if the duplicate opportunities are available. So in that case also, you're creating one-to-many relation between contact object and opportunities object. These are the parent-child database relations. Before we go deep into database relations, let's look at why do we need these relations, and more importantly, why do we need custom objects. Let's imagine a classroom situation. We are building a system where parents can enroll their children, and we need to capture parents' information and their kids' information. What we could do is go to settings, add a bunch of custom fields to capture the information related to the children. It works perfectly for a parent with one kid. As soon as the same parent try to enroll their second child, the first child's information gets overwritten. So well, then I can go ahead and add another bunch of custom fields for kid number 2 as well. I can solve that problem that way. But what happens if there's one more kid for the same parent? Well, you could add more fields to collect that data too. But do you see where I'm going with this, right? What happens if someone had triplets twice? You probably create more custom fields, right? I mean, you can keep on adding more custom fields, but it's not a scalable solution. And managing this data in a very useful form can be really tricky. I built a similar system for a dance studio, and I know it's not very efficient. And that's where the custom objects comes in. What if we could create a student record with its own data structure, such as student's first name, student's last name, student's date of birth, student's gender, and so much more. Whenever a parent wants to enroll their second child or third child or fourth child, the same set of data structure gets created. All the kids' information connected to that parent. That becomes really efficient, right? So that's how the custom object is going to impact how you build systems in GoHighLevel. Just like we created multiple nodes for one contact, you can create multiple records for a certain object for the same contact. So if we are able to create a custom object called child that gets connected to the main contact object, which is the parent, we can create as many child records under one parent, and the data management will be more efficient. There won't be any overriding of data, no issues related to the scalability, and it is so wonderful. Now you can see why do we need custom objects, right? Now there are a few ways in which you can connect different objects together. There are 3 relation types between objects. The first one is one-to-one, second one is one-to-many, and the third one is many-to-many. So what is one-to-one relationship? Imagine a person and his social security number. So one person can only have one social security number. One social security number has only one person connected to it. So that is one-to-one relationship. In the CRM settings, if you consider contact and contact ID, that's a one-to-one relationship. One contact can only have one contact ID, and one contact ID only have one contact connected to it. So that is one-to-one relationship. The next one is the most common and most useful relation, which is one-to-many relation. We have already seen that in contact and multiple nodes and parent and multiple children. These are one-to-many relationship. One mother can have many children, but one particular child has only one mother, or at least one biological mother. Similarly, you have one contact has multiple nodes, but one specific node has only one contact connected to it. So that is one-to-many relationship. Now comes the many-to-many relationship. A many-to-many relationship is also common, but it's not that very useful when it comes to triggering automations and such. An example for many-to-many relationship would be a contact and an event. One contact can join multiple events, and one event can have multiple contacts. So there is nothing connecting them together. So if you want to trigger some automation based on certain things, it won't be easy with many-to-many relationship. So that's why in most cases when it is many-to-many relationship, there will be an intermediate object in between these two. So for example, in the case of a contact and event, there could be an intermediate object called tickets, and this ticket would connect these two objects which are connected in many-to-many relation through a one-to-many and one-to-many relation. So how this would work is that one contact has many tickets and one event has many tickets. So here contact and tickets has a one-to-many relationship, and event and tickets has a one-to-many relationship. But if you take one ticket, it is connected to only one person, and if you take the same ticket, it is connected to only one event. So now we have this one intermediate object connecting these two different objects through one-to-many relationship. Otherwise, it would have been connected through many-to-many relationship, but it has been divided into two one-to-many relationship. This is getting a slightly complex now. You don't really need to know all this right now because HighLevel hasn't released the custom objects just yet. I'm part of this small beta group of testers. As soon as it's available for us to test, I will know more about how things are implemented in the backend. So all these discussion will become more meaningful when we know how we can implement this on HighLevel. So for now, you just need to understand that there are three types of relationship. One is one-to-one, second is one-to-many, and the third one is many-to-many relationship. And you can connect multiple objects using these relationships. But for now, I guess you have a decent understanding about custom objects and how you can connect different objects. Now, to give you a bit more clarity, I could give you a couple of more use cases. Imagine you are a doctor running a clinic and you want to keep track of the patient's records. So you can create a custom object called patient's records. It can have its own custom fields, maybe patient's name, patient's email, phone number, blood pressure, and all those details, whichever you want to collect. And whenever a patient comes, you can create a new record for that new patient and it will be connected. If the same patient comes back again, and if you want to keep track of all the readings of that patient, you will have patient's record connected to the contact in a very orderly way. So another example would be you are an accountability coach. You could create a custom object called check-in, and whenever you do check-in with your client, you could have all those details of that particular check-in and connect that data back to the contact's details. If you're running a weekly check-in, you will have all the check-ins connected to that contact in one place. So these are some of the use cases. You can think of much more depending on your business requirement. I will give you one last use case. Imagine you're a property management company, and let's say you have a billionaire client who has 50 properties, and you want to keep track of all the properties and its inspection date, maintenance date, and all that, and connect it back to the same one contact, which is the billionaire client. And imagine you have like 10 such clients, and then you want to have all those properties connecting to the right client. So in this case also, you can use custom objects, and all the data management becomes very easy through this database relations. So that's all about custom objects and how you can connect and why you need custom objects and all that. We are still waiting for GoHighLevel to release it. Once it is released to us, the beta team, I will be able to give you more information. Until then, this is what custom object is, and let's hope that this is going to be really a game changer in all your businesses. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.